Ever wondered if what you see is truly the world as it is, or if it's a story your brain carefully constructs? In the next few minutes, we'll peel back the layers of perception to reveal how the human brain transforms invisible waves of light into the vibrant colors that paint our reality. Today, we embark on a journey into science and philosophy, exploring the delicate interplay between biology and perception. This is not just a lesson in how light becomes color. It's an invitation to question the very nature of what we call reality. At the core of our experience is light, electromagnetic radiation gliding through the cosmos, composed of waves measured in nanometers. To a physicist, these are mere numbers, but to your eyes and brain, these wavelengths become the brilliant reds, greens, blues, and endless nuances in between. When these photons enter the eye, they strike a complex and dynamic organ known as the retina. This thin layer of tissue acts as the gateway to our visual experience, equipped with millions of photoreceptor cells. There are two primary types, rods and cones. Rods, which register brightness, let us see even in dim conditions, while cones, specialized cells tuned to different wavelengths, unlock the world of color. Imagine the retina as a masterful translator, taking the raw language of light and converting it into the vivid experiences we cherish. There are three types of cones: short cones that respond to blue light, medium cones that are sensitive to green, and long cones that react most strongly to red. Each time light touches these cells, it triggers a cascade of electrical signals that race along the optic nerve to the brain. But the magic doesn't end there. The brain does not merely document these messages, it actively interprets, compares, and balances them. In doing so, it constructs what we see as color, an experience that is as much a product of our minds as it is of the external world. This process is astonishing. Consider the simple act of witnessing a sunset. Physically, the sky is filled with specific wavelengths, a measurable array of electromagnetic radiation. Yet, it is the brain's interpretation that transforms these wavelengths into the warmth of an orange glow or the deep splash of violet. In essence, every color, every nuance of light is a clever illusion crafted by our minds. Our perception of the world is a constant interplay of physics and interpretation, where the raw energy of light is shaped into the myriad colors that fill our lives. Let's delve deeper into the story of light and color. Picking up from where we left off, the journey begins when photons hit the retina. These photons, traveling at astronomical speeds, encounter the specialized surfaces of rods and cones that have been perfected over millennia of evolution. When you're in a dimly lit room, it is the rods that pick up even the smallest glimmers of light, allowing you to navigate in near darkness. In brighter settings, cones take the lead, their combination of signals forming the spectrum of hues that adorn our environment. Every beam of light that reaches us is a coded message, carrying information that the brain decodes into color. But this decoding process is not a simple one-to-one translation. Instead, the brain becomes an active participant, comparing signals from multiple sources and balancing them against each other. For instance, as you observe a painting or a sunset, your brain assesses the interplay of light and shadow, adjusting the perceived colors based on context. This relative perception is a reminder that color is not an inherent property of objects. Rather, it is the result of complex interactions between light, biological mechanisms, and the brain's interpretations. Now consider the concept of black. In everyday life, we often think of black as the absence of color. Yet, in the realm of human perception, black is not a simple void but a construction, a best guess made by the brain. Even in near-complete darkness, minute photons persist. They reflect off surfaces, travel from distant stars, and trick the retina by sending faint signals. Your brain, ever resourceful, gathers these sparse cues to create what you perceive as black. This means that even at our darkest, we are witnessing a construction, not an absolute absence of light. It is a subtle, sometimes imperfect, version of nothingness, a reminder of the mind's ceaseless work to interpret ambiguity. The story of black is a perfect example of the broader truth. Consider an optical illusion where two identical squares appear vastly different in shade because of the contrasting backgrounds. Every color we see is a relative experience, heavily influenced by context. Even though the physical wavelengths are identical, the brain's interpretation alters our perception. One square may seem lighter, the other darker, simply because of the context provided by their surroundings. Our brains, in an effort to make sense of the world, constantly compare and contrast information. This is why the same object can appear to change color under different lighting conditions. A red apple in sunlight might look slightly different indoors, yet the object remains the same. This interplay between light and its interpretation extends far beyond simple visual tricks. It reveals a fundamental truth about human perception. Our experience of the world is inherently subjective. While physics provides the raw data in the form of wavelengths, it is our brain that assigns meaning to these numbers. This subjective process is evident not only in how we see colors, but also in how we communicate and categorize them. Across different cultures, the way colors are named and interpreted can vary vastly. In some languages, the same term might be used for what others would describe as two distinct colors. This reflects the idea that our perceptions are not merely dictated by biology alone, they are also shaped by cultural histories and linguistic nuances. Let's take a moment to reflect on how biology influences these phenomena. Humans, equipped with 3 types of cones, operate within a relatively narrow slice of the color spectrum. In contrast, many animals experience the world in ways that are completely alien to us. Birds, for example, often have 4 types of cones, allowing them to see ultraviolet light, a realm of color invisible to human eyes. This expanded vision opens up a reality that we can only imagine, a world rich with hues that transcend our limited palette. In addition to biological limitations, cultural context further nuances our perception of color. Art, language, and tradition all play roles in how we define and differentiate colors. Take a look at traditional artworks from different corners of the globe. Each culture emphasizes certain colors, sometimes even designing symbols and rituals around them. For instance, while one culture might celebrate the purity of white, another might associate it with mourning. These cultural variations underscore a profound truth. While the physical properties of light remain constant, the experience of color is fluid and malleable. As we journey further into this exploration, let's pose a fundamental question. Are we truly seeing the world as it is, or are we merely viewing a carefully curated version assembled by our brains? This tension between objective reality and subjective experience has intrigued scientists and philosophers alike for centuries. When you witness the world in vibrant color, you are not simply observing reality. You are engaging in a dynamic act of interpretation. Every hue, every shadow is the result of this interplay, a conversation between what exists externally and what your mind constructs internally. Ponder the philosophical implications of this interplay. If every color is a creation of the brain, then what can we say of the world outside? Could there be realms of experience that we are wholly blind to because our biology limits us? The brain's version of reality is rich and detailed, yet it represents only a fraction of what might truly be there. This realization does not diminish the beauty of our experience. Rather, it invites us to marvel at the ingenuity of our own cognitive processes. The mind is a powerful storyteller, weaving together strands of light and energy into the tapestry of our lived experience. Science and philosophy converge as we consider the notion that the brain's work is never complete. Even with the most sophisticated therapies and technological marvels, our perception of black, of darkness, is never absolute. In laboratories around the world, scientists have pushed the boundaries of what light-absorbing materials can achieve. Vantablack, for example, absorbs more than 99% of incoming photons, demonstrating the limits of our engineered approximations of black. And yet, even this breakthrough does not equate to the complete absence of light as our eyes would ideally perceive it. Instead, our understanding underscores that what we see is always a calculated approximation, a neural guess shaped by countless microsignals. Turning again to the everyday experience of color, we see that the brain's construction of reality is not static. It adapts, learns, and grows over time, continuously updating its internal models based on new stimuli, context, and cultural influences. In a world where the available palette is constantly reassessed, every color becomes a living, dynamic quantity. Artists, too, have long recognized this marvel. They understand that the colors they choose are not inherent properties of the medium, but rather echoes of the human experience. A painting is not just pigment on canvas, it is an invitation to engage with the complexity of perception and emotion. Now let's return to the notion of contextual perception and its broader implications. As you watch the interplay of light and shadow in a forest, the shifting hues of a sunset, or the delicate gradations in a piece of art, remember that these images are our brain's best effort to represent the world. The colors you see are not the definitive truth of the external world. They are interpretations, rich and subjective. With every glance, your brain is comparing, adjusting, and refining its portrayal of light. It is an ongoing dialogue, a silent, powerful conversation that bridges physics with art, data with emotion. This dialogue inevitably leads us to a critical intersection of science, art, and philosophy. We are compelled to ask, if our perception is such a delicate, constructed experience, what does that say about the nature of reality itself? In pondering this question, we realize that our sensory experiences are not a complete map of the external world, but rather a sketch, an interpretation shaped by the limits of our physiology and the influences of our cultural histories. The journey of understanding begins with recognizing that our vision, while extraordinary, is inherently subjective. It is an ever-evolving narrative that changes with each new experience, each shift in light and context. The scientific marvel of photoreceptors, the complexity of brain functions, and the subtle influences of culture all converge to create the rich tapestry that is our visual world. As you sit with these thoughts, you may feel a sense of wonder mixed with a touch of uncertainty, a natural response when you begin to see the world not as a static, unchanging canvas, but as a living story, continuously rewritten by the interplay of light, context, and mind. Throughout this exploration, we have seen that the brain is not a passive recorder, but an active constructor of reality. Every color, every shade from the deepest black to the brightest hues is a collaboration, a result of complex interactions between physical stimuli and our brain's interpretive power. This profound insight challenges us to rethink even the most basic aspects of our daily experience. The beauty of a sunset, the calm of a forest, the vibrancy of a cityscape, all are rendered through the brain's incredible ability to weave together sensory data with personal, cultural, and contextual influences. In closing, as we reflect on our journey today, we come back to the essence of this exploration. The understanding that what we see is not merely the world as it is, but a vivid and dynamic construction influenced by biology, culture, and philosophy. The science behind color perception is as intricate as it is beautiful, a reminder that even in the simplest moments, when you admire the changing light of day or the subtle gradations of a shadow, you are engaging with one of the most profound mysteries of existence. The human brain, with its remarkable ability to translate light into color, invites us to continuously ask, is the reality we perceive the absolute truth, or is it just one interpretation of a universe teeming with unseen possibilities? Embrace this beautiful mystery. Let your curiosity lead you to look deeper, to question, and to cherish the wondrous interplay of light, color, and mind. Thank you for joining us on this journey of discovery. If you found this exploration as captivating as we did, please remember to subscribe.